I'm gonna make another video of this song, number 31. I accidentally skipped Pat Benatar's at number 32. I'll have to get to that one in just a few minutes. The Pat Benatar record at number 32. Highest debut record on this fantasy playlist of March 18th, 1983. How you doing? It's Mr. DJ, by the way, getting started. Second take of this video. Duran Duran's Rio at number 31. Duran Duran's their second major hit here in America. Hungry Like the Wolf broke them into the top 40 here in the States, starting in late 1982, going into early 1983. Now, there was Girls on Film, but that was mostly a video and a very suggestive video. It was not, it's certainly not, tame by today's standards. Don't get me wrong, it's nothing. It's a no-brainer by today's standards, but back then that was like that's something that you show it at a stag party or something like that. Well, anyway, Hungry Like the Wolf, and then you got Rio after that. The album was called Rio. According to the research, it was the second album that they put out. Went to number 2 in the UK, the album did. Number 1 in Australia. Went platinum by the spring of 1983. And a lot of people thought that Rio was about a girl or Rio was about an exotic place, like Rio in Brazil, or a place in Brazil. Pretty exotic in some places down there in South America. But it's about America, the U.S., red, white, and blue. They mentioned the Rio Grande or the Rio Grande, whatever, in the song. And the song is sort of a metaphor about making it in America, making it big in America, wanting to make it big in America. It's one thing to make it big in England. A lot of British groups back in the day wanted to make it here in the States. And little wonder, we got $1 trillion economy. Well, it probably wasn't that much back in the early 80s, but still, it's probably up around in the billions in the 80s. If you just make it in England, you'll do well. Have a nice Rolls Royce, maybe have a mansion, nice place to live out in the countryside or in London, or maybe have a nice place in both the countryside and in London. Have a place out in Wales, Dover. But if you make it in England, if you make it in America, you're in a totally different ball game. You got yourself a place in Beverly Hills. You can afford a place in the Bahamas. You can afford a place in London, Paris, Atlanta, if you make it real, real big. And have a tax shelter in some exotic Caribbean island so you don't have to pay the higher tax rate for the rich people in Britain. Well, so here we are, Duran Duran. I want to talk about the video. This is kind of complicated, and the research that I looked at, it didn't present it in A, B, C, D, E. It was more like A, E, B, D. So I'm going to try to piece this together as well as I can. The video was directed by a guy named Russell Mulcahy, Mucahy. I believe that's how you pronounce his last name. And actually, Duran Duran, they were vacationing in Antigua. Apparently, for the most part, they enjoyed each other's company. And but Mulcahy got notice from one of the managers of Duran Duran. One of the managers of Duran Duran said, "I want to go yachting in Antigua." Mulcahy sits down, he writes all these scenes of the group yachting in the video. But if I got this straight, Duran Duran didn't know about that initially. Here's the deal. They're staying in Antigua, these guys. They're having a good time. They're vacationing. They're taking a break from touring, from songwriting. Let's have a good time. Let's enjoy our riches. And they get this phone call. They say, "Stay there." The person on the phone says, "Stay there. We're bringing a film crew over." Initially, Duran Duran thought the video was going to be shot indoors. There was a fellow named Anthony Price who developed these outfits for Duran Duran, these suits that they would wear in the video, silk suits, fabulous material, make them look fabulous in the video. Now it turns out they're going to go yachting wearing these fabulous suits. Salt water's going to get splashed all over it, all over them. And Nick Rose was thinking, my goodness, all this water's going to ruin our suits. Because his idea was just standing on a yacht, standing in a yacht. The yacht's just sitting still. It's at port. And when you're drinking a cocktail, you don't spill it. Well, they went yachting, wearing the suits. They were good sports about it, particularly Simon Le Bon. I've noticed in some of the videos of Duran Duran, Simon Le Bon, he's got this James Bond persona about him. And he was a trooper and a half. He climbed as far as he could up the prow of the yacht. It was shot successfully, but there was a scary moment with the girl in the video. Her name was Reema, R-E-E-M-A. I wrote it down. Starts with an R. Exotic-looking woman. Wore the body paint. This was so Duran Duran. So early 80s. Reema was her name. Russell Mulcahy, who directed the video, was shooting a scene with Reema standing next to a giant mirror. A gust of wind suddenly came, whew, and the mirror shattered. The mirror just broke into a million bits. Just blew up next to her, to Reema. But she only had a couple of scratches. I'm sure everybody was like, oh gosh, thank God. So there you go. Rio, Duran Duran. Highest debut on my fantasy playlist. I think I'll go with this video over the first take I did. I think I'll do that. All right. Talking to myself. Take care. Rio at number 31. Duran Duran on my fantasy playlist of March 18th, 1983.